Well, I use a lot of different strategies when I do distance education work. Right now I'm doing a lot of teaching with Earl Woodruff, and we use a technique called flex mode education, in which once a week we have a online webinar in which students can participate at home by logging in and using the cameras that are built into their computers, participate in a kind of a class discussion. And so we do that for about an hour each week, and it's really quite interesting, because what we have is a big screen full of all the faces of all the students in our class, and we can see them and they can see us. And it's just almost like being in a classroom with them. Some students, they choose to come to our class and participate with us physically, but most students prefer to be online from home, and so that's quite a neat online experience. So that's one thing that I make use of a lot. But as for the online portion, when students are discussing things over the course of the week, I use online discussion boards a lot. And so I use Pepper, which is, again, a software that we've developed here. And I usually divide students up into groups, and we have some problems. Usually we have student moderators who propose some problems or questions that students should discuss. And then we have kind of an ongoing discussion over the week, and we have dozens of notes that are written by students evolve in an online discussion. And I'm always quite impressed at the depth that students get to in these discussions. And I think one of the real advantages of these environments is that students have a chance to just sit down and think about the readings in kind of a deep way, and use the opportunity of the discussion to consolidate their thoughts and communicate their ideas to others. So I think it's a very rich medium for learning. So we have discussions. I usually put students into groups because we've done a lot of research on looking at how students learn best. And we found out that small groups are probably the best because they give every student a chance to say something. Often when there's a lot of people all talking at once in these online environments, the students spend so much time reading other notes that they don't have enough time to really write their own ideas. So small groups seems to be best. And we usually have some kind of consolidation activity at the end of the discussion in which people try to draw together all the ideas that have come out during the class. So these are all portions of what we do, and of course I also try to integrate a bit of video into these weekly discussions, simply because I think it makes students feel more, it gives a better sense of presence. They get to know what I look like and how I sound, and I get to hear them if I encourage them to upload video as well. It just makes it a little more human, I think, and a little more personal. Other than that, I encourage students to use social media facilities, like we've introduced features like a like button into our software, so that when students see something that they like that somebody else has written, they can say, I like this, and that gives the writer of that message a little bit of reinforcement that other people in the class appreciate their efforts and their ideas. And so we try to do that. We have a kind of a class wall for announcements and so forth. And we also have a lot of opportunities for private messaging and private work. I've found that although these public discussions are nice, one of the really, sometimes some of the best work is done in private when students have a chance just to work behind the scenes with each other. They can be a little more open and honest with each other, and often make more progress in a small group privately than they could in a public forum, where they're a little more cautious about what they say. So those are, I think, the key elements of what I do in my online courses.